Okay, people, my slayers, are you tired of people wronging you and then somehow, for whatever reason, you end up saying, oh, sorry? Like somebody bumps into you or they do something to you, and for whatever reason, you end up saying, oh, sorry. It's just like this automatic response that you end up having, right? I'm tired of saying sorry too. Let's reclaim our power and change the narrative right here, right now. We turn high stress interactions into opportunities for growth and assertiveness. So if you're new here, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do that now. I'm Rebecca Zung. I teach you how to get your power back. And if you are rejoining us, welcome back. Today, we are diving into why we overuse the word sorry and how it can actually disempower us, especially in high conflict situations. More importantly, I'm going to share what you can say instead so that you can actually have a substitute so that you can actually get your power back and have a tool so that, in your little arsenal that you will have right there at the ready instead. All right. So saying sorry actually stems from a place, maybe from a good place in some ways. It really is an empathic response a lot of times. A lot of times it stems from not wanting to have conflict, wanting to be the good person, maybe wanting to look like you are, getting along with people. A lot of times it's because you have an empathic nature, an empathetic nature, and you are tuned to the emotions of the other person. You're worried about the other person's feelings and you don't want to hurt the other person. You're immediately going, oh, I'm sorry. You don't want to hurt that other person, right? And so that's a lot of times why you do say sorry. But sometimes it is a trauma response because it could be that you experienced past traumas and you were maybe more frequently made to feel like you were at fault, especially if there was a narcissistic history in your past, and gaslighting or emotional manipulation was present. And so you feel like, oh, let me overcome this stress and anxiety by just constantly overly apologizing, right? That could be a response as well. It could be because you were raised in a culture where you were frequently blamed or taught to put other people first. And so you develop a habit of overly apologizing. Sometimes it is a reflection of deeper issues, but regardless of where it comes from, why it happens is still not necessarily a great thing, because when it happens, it can be a situation that it devalues you. It can cause you to not necessarily get the respect and honor that you deserve. And it can disempower you. It can cause people to disrespect you. It can actually cause you to not have the confidence that you might want to have as well. What I want to do here is give you some scenarios where you might automatically say sorry when perhaps you could say something else instead that would still communicate a message that where the other person feels heard and gives them the feeling that they matter, which is what you're trying to communicate anyway, and allows you to not say sorry. So here's one example. One example might be where you're running late. And again, like that is not something that, you would want to be doing normally. Okay. And you do want to, let the other person know that their time is valuable, that you respect them, that you honor them, but you want to shift your language to be something where you're communicating with confidence, with clarity, where you're standing in your authentic power. So you might want to say, Instead of sorry, you might want to say, thank you for your patience. This not only acknowledges that other person and acknowledges their time, lets them know that you are being considerate of them. It also keeps you in that position of strength. And another one is if you're in a meeting and you have a differing opinion, instead of saying sorry, but I see it differently, you can say, I see it differently. Instead of saying sorry, just say, I see it differently, and here's why. This approach opens up a dialogue without diminishing your perspective. Or you can even say, I can see your perspective, but here's why I see it differently. A lot of times you can acknowledge their perspective. I acknowledge your perspective, but I see it differently, and here's why. Because that way you are acknowledging them. I see your perspective. Make sure you don't interrupt, but just, you can say, I'd like to add a point here, something to that effect. That approach acknowledges them. It allows the conversation to continue, but you're not necessarily agreeing, and you're certainly not apologizing. Another way that you can not apologize is declining a request for an invitation. A lot of times you might say, I'm sorry, I can't make it. But sometimes you just don't want to go, or you're just tired, or you don't have the time that you want to give to that. You might want to just say, thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the invitation. However, I have a prior commitment. Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate you thinking of me. Unfortunately, I am previously engaged. Just thank you for the invitation. You don't have to say, sorry, I can't make it. That response shows appreciation to them, appreciation for the offer, firmly states that you are unavailable. No guilt, no apology, no sorry. Thank you. I appreciate you. Please think of me in the future. You can always say that too. When asking for clarification or help, instead of saying, sorry, can you explain this again? You can say, I would appreciate clarity on this. By phrasing your request this way, you show that you value understanding whatever it is that they're trying to convey to you means something to you. Most people would want that, whatever it is that they're trying to convey to you, if they're trying to convey information to you. You're being proactive in gaining the information or getting the information, whatever it is that they're trying to convey to you. If this is helpful for you so far, I want you to put sorry, not sorry in the comments below. And what has helped you the most so far? Which phrase has helped you the most so far? I would love to know in the comments below. I would love to get a dialogue going for this so far. The next one is when you need more time to complete a task. I really think that this is important because you do need to stay in integrity and keep your word to things. So if you have committed to getting something done by a certain date, you do need to go back to the person and say, I'm not going to be able to get it done when I said I was going to. Don't just not do it, because then you are out of integrity and you haven't kept your word. That's not okay either. Your word should be solid to yourself and to the other person, and it should mean something. But don't say sorry. You might want to say something like this: I'm giving this the attention that it deserves, and we'll have it completed by X date. This way you stay in your power. You always want to phrase things in a way that keeps you standing in your power. How can you phrase something that demonstrates that you're standing in your power? I'm giving this the attention that it deserves, that you deserve. I don't want it to be rushed. I don't want you to have a product that has been rushed. I'm committing to you that it will be completed by Saturday, December, whatever. That demonstrates your commitment to them. It demonstrates your commitment to your word. It demonstrates your commitment to quality. It also acknowledges that there was a deadline on X date. That you're not trying to thwart that particular deadline. You did know that there was one on that day. So I want you to start noticing how often you say sorry and consciously replace it with these empowering alternatives, because it's not just about changing a word. This is about transforming how you view yourself. It's about transforming how you view yourself in relationship to other people as well. I think a lot of times we have heightened sensitivity to others. We want to be perceived as polite. We don't want to be perceived as overly aggressive, especially as women. I'm sure that there's men watching here too, but I think a lot of times we want to be perceived as likable. So we might stick the word sorry in there because we think that it might make us more likable. That's not necessarily true. I just want you to know that that's not necessarily true. And I do have phrases for disarming narcissists for those of you who are dealing with narcissists, and you can get those at disarmthenarc.com. For those of you who are dealing with narcissists or high conflict personalities, you can get those at disarmthenarc.com. So grab those there, disarmthenarc.com, and make sure that when you're talking to people, you have eye contact, you're looking forward, you're looking straight, you speak clearly at a moderate pace, you use confident language. Don't use language that is sort of like maybe, or if you want to, or you don't have to, or just like be really confident in how you speak. You want to appear powerful. You have to be authentic. And you want to stand in your power and stay positive, believing in your abilities, believing in your self-worth. That naturally enhances your authority as well. How you appear to others, that really helps as well. If you found this video helpful, I want you to like it. I want you to share it. Join my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung, and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share it. Hit that notification bell. Remember that today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. This is your moment. This is all about you. The next video that I want you to watch is 3 things that a narcissist isn't aware of, because I think that's going to help you as well. And I will see you in that next video. But remember that narcissists, toxic personalities, people who are difficult, they only win if you give in. And you've got this. You can stand in your power. You know who you are. And the more that you do that, the more that you will be the best version of yourself. All right. I will see you in that next video. And remember that you are really, really the authentic version of yourself. Stand in your power. I'll see you in that next video.